I already have a video about low level runewords, so here's one for mid level ones. For this list the lowest rune is Loom and highest is this rune. Let's start with Smoke, Nephloom. It's one of those items that I use on almost every build I make. It gives a ton of resistances and helps to reach resistance cap in hell. It also has 20% hit recovery, which is amazing as well. If you want to get maximum value out of the item, it also gives you weekend charges that you can use against bosses to weaken their physical damage. I usually make this rune word before entering hell. It's very rare for Nightmare Countess to drop a Loom rune, but you can grind 3 Aya runes from Nightmare Countess and cube them to a Loom rune with Flow of Topaz. I personally like to grind Nightmare Chaos Sanctuary and Cow level until I find one. If I get unlucky and it doesn't drop, I just go to hell and grind Countess, but it's riskier in hardcore. Treachery, Shell Thul Lem. It has many good uses. Let's talk about the chance to proc Fade first. Fade is an assassin skill, and at level 15 when triggered, it gives the wielder 60 to all resistances, 15% damage reduction, and 79% curse duration reduction. Besides the incredible Fade proc, it also gives a 45% boost to attack speed. Because of this, the armor is useful to a lot of builds, even though it's designed for the assassin. Treachery is also a very good armor on mercenaries. It gives them everything they need. It's a good budget solution until you make something overpowered like Fortitude. With certain weapons, Treachery might actually be better than anything else, because of the incredible amount of attack speed it has. For example, I prefer Treachery over Fortitude when using Infinity or Insight on my mercenary, because those weapons don't get any attack speed on their own. Should also probably mention that you can use this armor for the Fade proc alone. Simply equip the armor, stand in enemies or in fire to proc Fade, and then simply swap out your armor again. Your level 15 Fade will remain there for its 288 second duration. There's a myth going around that Fade damage reduction only works with hardpoints, but it's not like that. Level 15 Fade from Treachery does give you the 15% damage reduction. When you're trying to make the rune word, it's easy to get the Shell and Thul rune, however Lem can be a problem. When I'm specifically looking for Lem rune, I run Hell Countess or lower Kuras chests. Stone, Shell, Pul, Lum. It's a little difficult to create early on for a single player people because of double mid rune requirement. Treachery is a very good alternative for this armor, and I also feel like Treachery is better in many cases anyway. However, if you do find the runes for it and want an insane amount of defense on your mercenary, then Stone is the way to go. Make him tanky. It also adds a lot of strength, which is useful sometimes if you need to get some strength on your mercenary to equip certain weapons earlier. Obedience, Hel, Ko, Thul, Eth, Fal. This is a ladder only rune word, can be created into 5-socketed polearms. The enhanced damage it gets is absolutely insane, 370%. In addition to the damage, it also has 40% crushing blow and up to 30 all resistances. The level 21 enchant proc doesn't add much fire damage, but it boosts attack rating by 200%, which is insane. It's a great weapon for mercenaries or mid-game whirlwind barbarians. Can also be used on melee druids quite effectively. You can also make a sick Iron Golem out of Obedience. Just know that Iron Golem has a habit of disappearing randomly if you don't have teleport. And of course there's a chance that he dies. Luckily Obedience runes aren't that hard to get, so you can always make a new one. Lionheart, Hell, Lum, Fal. Good armor alternative to Smoke, but a little more difficult to make. It also has no hit recovery and 20 less all resistances compared to Smoke. It's still good because it adds a lot of attributes and 50 base life. Lawbringer, Amn, Lem, Ko. Can be created in swords, hammers or scepters. Since Lawbringer procs Decrepify, it makes for an excellent cheaper alternative to Reaper's Toll. You do have to use an Act 5 mercenary, but it's worth it. Barbarian mercs are cooler anyway. Decrepify lowers enemies' physical resistance by 50% and also slows them down greatly. So if your build is dealing physical damage, hire a Barbarian mercenary from Act 5 and give him a Lawbringer. Lawbringer works really well on a Wind Druid as well, since Tornado is physical damage. Another good thing about it is the Sanctuary Aura. It's rather useful in Chaos Sanctuary and other areas with a lot of undead enemies, since it causes a knockback effect and they can't charge at you as easily. Wealth, Lem, Ko, Tir. Can be used on Goldfind Barbarians or any build really. 100% Magic Find is huge. I don't find myself using this armor because I play hardcore and defensive stats are more important than only Magic Find. However, if I was playing softcore, I would totally make use of this. Duress, Shell, Thul. Gives a decent amount of resistances and a ton of hit recovery. Best thing about it is of course the 15% crushing blow and 33% chance to open wounds. Can be used on any build that benefits from crushing blow, for example Frenzy Barbarian, Kick Assassin or Smite Paladin. It's a good armor when doing Ubers. You can use Treachery to get the Fade buff and then swap to Duress. Crescent Moon, Shell, Tir. Works in axes, swords and polearms. This is a decent mid-game weapon for 2 reasons. It has a good amount of enhanced damage, but also a chance to proc static field on striking. It has many uses, but for example if you have a stronger weapon than Crescent Moon, you could still use it on your swap against bosses for static field procs. Once the boss is down to 50% health in hell, you swap to your main weapon and finish him off. Can be used on your mercenary as well of course to proc the static field. Sanctuary. Mal. Of course Mal is not easy to come by, especially in single player sometimes. This is one of my favorite shields. I find it to be one of the best shields for block, simply because not only does it have the block mod on it, but also up to 70 all resistances. It's a crazy boost to your resistances. 20 dexterity it has makes it easy to reach max block. 20% hit recovery is a great bonus. It also gives you slower missile charges, which can be very useful sometimes if used correctly at the right time. My favorite shield base for this rune is Tower Shield or Troll Shield. Both work well. Delirium, Lem, East, Io. Helm with +2 to all skills can be used to make a sick class specific barb or druid helm with +5 to a skill. This helm works really well for crowd control as well, because of the curses and mind blasted procs. Can also be used on a mercenary to receive these crowd control abilities. I love this helm on a mercenary when doing Chaos Sanctuary runs. Quite often everything on the screen is confused, makes it a lot safer. There's one downside when using it on a mercenary, it doesn't give lifesteal, so you have to use a weapon or armor with life leech. Harmony. Tyr, Ith, Soil, Ko. Probably the best bow option mid-game. What makes it good for other builds is the Vigor Aura. You can use it on swap when doing Magic Find runs, to get to the destination faster. For example when doing Pindleskin runs, you can swap to Harmony to reach him much faster. Efficiency is everything. The faster you get to him, the more runs you do per hour, and the more items you find. Harmony is a ladder only runeword by the way. Splendor, Lum. Easy to make shield with a skill point, cast rate and other good things. Remember that you can build this shield in a Necromancer head as well. Memory. Lum, Aya, Soil, Eth. Works only in staves and can be used to get +9 energy shield if you find a base with +3. I think that's the only use for it. Just a weapon to buff your energy shield level on swap. Bone. Soil, Somewhat difficult to make because of the 2 rune requirement. But it is an armor I am always working towards when playing a Necromancer. It gives 2 to Necromancer skills and a lot of resistances. Definitely better than using Smoke or Lionheart. Oath. Shell, Pull, Mull, Lum. Cheap alternative to Grief or other OP weapons. The runes can be grinded from Hell Countess. Of course the Mull is going to take some time, but it's worth it. Since the rune root becomes indestructible, you want to build it in an ethereal base. Don't worry about the Heart of Wolverine or Iron Golem charges. This is another ladder only runeword. I'm sure I missed some amazing mid-level runewords, but that's why we have the comment section. Share your thoughts and take care.